And then we went to White Knight Chronicles. I played. Pretty good game. It's definitely an improvement over White Knight Chronicles, the original. New combat system. Like much more intuitive. Then we played a bunch of Konami games.
We played that versus the Bugs game, the Earth Defense or whatever.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, we didn't get
like,
to see that enough.
Yeah.
We played that for probably like 3 minutes tops.
Yeah.
But that looks pretty good.
You guys went to Disney as well. And played some...
yeah, I forgot about Disney. We were at Disney for like half an hour, and we played a game I don't remember the name of, and I'm sorry Disney, but I don't remember the name of it, but it was a kid's... I'll get that one too. No, and then we played Cars 2, and this sounds so horrible to say, but out of everything we played that we actually had hands-on time with, we had a lot of fun playing Cars 2.
A lot of fun.
We played together with Doug and I played together with the PR person. I pwned them, killed them, but it was just a lot of fun. Like really, obviously simple to play. Nothing complex.
It's kind of like a kart racer.
Yeah, it's just like a real standard kart racer. But it's like stylish and it's fun.
Good weapons, like.
It's definitely perfect to play if you have kids. Like perfect to play with your kids. It was pretty rad. And unfortunately, we didn't get to play Disney Universe as much as we'd like to. I don't think they had a PS3 build of it anywhere on the floor. Or at least our PR person couldn't find it for us.
And while these guys were doing that, I swung by Natsume and checked out one of their upcoming PS3 RPGs, or their only PS3 RPG, Tales of... I also don't remember the title.
Rasputin?
No.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. It seemed reasonable. One of those Japanese super kind of niche games that'll acquire that cult following. There's 40 to 60 hours of gameplay. You can travel on a big monster to various places. Action RPG, so you can have combat in dungeons, find items, craft, fish, do all of these things, so on and so forth. Game seems reasonable. I couldn't get a really good impression of it with 20 minutes of playtime. And then I swung by Sega briefly and played Sega Sonic Generations, which pleasantly surprised me. It is playable, the 3D portions and the 2D portions. They keep it really on rails. Like a lot of Sonic games, half the time you feel like you're just being flung through the stage and you barely have any control of it. But I had a fun time. The 2D portions, of course, are especially fun, but the 3D wasn't broken at all. They definitely give you time to dash on either side of enemies, kill enemies, collect rings, and it switches between 2D and 3D really seamlessly, which is... the presentation looks great. That's a really pretty game, a lot of bright colors. And after that...
We all went to Namco, right?
Well,
no, you played Skullgirls.
Yeah, in Konami's digital game section, I played 2 downloadable games. One, which I had heard nothing about, this downloadable title called Skullgirls. It's a 2D hand-drawn fighting game, and it was actually phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed it. They've got fight stick support. It's a classic 6-button game, so it's rather than the 4 face buttons. It's fight stick might be helpful, but obviously most people play with a controller. But regardless, it was a beautiful, beautiful game. Brilliant hand drawings with all these characters have 1,500 frames of animation. Really inventive moves with a lot of references to other games. So one character's attack will spin like Sonic, or the boot is a reference to Mario, or regardless, there is a game, as cliche as this sounds, for gamers by gamers. So these guys really love their fighting games, and I think this one's something special, and you guys should definitely check it out when it comes out, and we'll cover it more on the site as well. And then I played a kart racing game called Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine. It was reasonable. I had a good time. It was supposed to be a downloadable game, but they apparently added enough content to it to make it a budget disc release, so it's going to be a $40 game, or so. I actually don't know if it's that price, but it's probably $30, $40 range. It'll be on a disc on Xbox and PS3. I had a good time. One really creative mode was I forget the name of it, but regardless, they put half of the racers racing backwards on the track and the other half racing forward. So at different points, you'd like
Run into each other.
yeah run into each other, and
That's
it
cool.
was madness. And yeah, it was a good time. I do kind of think they probably should have stuck with a downloadable route. I think it makes more sense as a $20 game than a $40 game or whatever it'll end up being priced. After that, though, I swung by THQ briefly. We're gonna go, or not THQ, excuse me, Tecmo Koei, Tecmo Koei, and played Ninja Gaiden 3, which was, as you might imagine, extremely visceral, extremely exciting, and a lot of fun. One of the moves he, at the beginning of the demo, he'll like jump off, Ryu loves to jump off ridiculously tall buildings and jump onto guys and stab them in the face and whatnot. Just crazy sword fighting action. It's a lot of what you've seen before. They've made it a little more fluid, and the demo was actually not so difficult. I think they probably toned it down for E3, I would imagine, but I didn't find it to be insanely difficult like the past Ninja Gaidens. Though I love the really tough difficulty, and I'm sure there'll be those harder options. A couple of things that were new in Ninja Gaiden 3, there were not like quick time events in the classic sense, just really, well, I guess there were a few quick time events, but occasionally you just get a button prompt if you did a certain combo, or you'd have to like press X, do a cool execution, but it worked with the flow of the combat, and there's the classic like Ninpo charge up and crazy super attacks. Fun boss battle in there, summoning the llama.
Sorry.
Dolly, the llama. Anyway, but let's move on to...
Last thing we saw, we'll go over these really fast, was Namco. And the big one everybody probably wants to hear about is Dark Souls. And the best thing we can tell you is it's just more of Demon Souls, but better. There's
slightly better visuals.
Yeah, I mean, I think the small tweaks that they're making, obviously, we got another phone call coming in. It's on Xbox also, so PS3 people can say, oh, they're dumbing it down for that generation.
No,
say whatever you want, but what they're doing is they're adding checkpoints essentially, which if you've played Demon Souls, you may feel relieved, or you may say again that they're dumbing it down.
It's not going to be any easier. If anything, it'll be harder.
We played it, and it's still freaking.
It's
really hard.
punishing.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Demon Souls.
Yeah, it's great.
They added I think the checkpoints make sense because it's now one sprawling open world. It's not 5 different environments like before. It's just one big world. They added a new class. Is Pyromancer the new class?
Yeah. That's what we all played.
Yeah, we played as Pyromancer. He's got some fiery spells. It's all fun.
Sword and shield.
You still die in a couple of hits if you let your guard down. There's still the crazy traps and whatnot. Yeah, it's a great looking game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Gamers are going to love it.
Yeah. And then just really briefly, the other game we played was
Inversion. Yeah, Inversion actually, it's by the Saber Studios, the guys who did Time Shift, which I personally thought was a little underappreciated back when that came out.
Yeah.
But instead of controlling time in this one, you're controlling gravity. So you can make gravity heavier or lighter. So you can toss your, I don't even know what to call the power, gravity powers at people, and they'll like float in the air, and you can kind of pick them off. Or you can make gravity heavier and drop crates on people's heads, or like bring them to their knees and just take them out. And there's a lot of really different inventive stuff you can do with the gravity powers, and it allows you to approach situations in a variety of different ways. And there's multiplayer too. We didn't get to check out the multiplayer, but that's also a 2012 game, but I was actually surprised at where they were in development thus far.
Alright, wiggity whack. Here's what we're going to do. Tell you what we're going to see tomorrow night. Tomorrow we are seeing, this is just what I'm seeing tomorrow, EA Sports, Atari, Ubisoft. We're going to check out the new Battlefield. We're checking out 2K games, and then finally all the EA games. So ton of stuff tomorrow, and they have their own schedules too. They're coming with us to some of the stuff. So look for Assassin's Creed, Battlefield, Mass Effect, The Darkness 2, FIFA. I don't know, probably a lot more. And we'll also say too that so far, As disappointing as this sounds, I haven't seen anything that's been like, oh man. E3 so far, 2011, is about gradualnessly getting better.
Yeah, it's
Nothing's blowing us away. Shut up.
it's, I mean, kind of general thoughts on E3 as a whole here, just ruminating, but it's kind of a reflection of, like Doug and I were talking about before, the economy in 2009 when all the game companies were like, we need to make really conservative games because we want them to sell, and we know a shooter is going to sell 500,000 copies, but if we do this new IP, we have no idea if it's going to flop or not. So all those games that have been in development for 2 years are now getting shown off at E3 and are going on sale later this year. There's a couple of really inventive games, like I'm going to play BioShock on Thursday, that should be phenomenal.
That was great. And again, Skyrim is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
You know, and we didn't get hands-on time, but it looks out of this world.
Yeah, there are a lot of really great looking games there, but nothing has blown my mind yet. I'm also looking forward to Journey from that game company, that should be interesting.
Not a lot of booth babes. There's enough. I have a brilliant picture of me and the Duke Nukem girls.
Were they naked?
I wish.
No.
May as well have been, but so that was
sitting
cool.
on the throne, pretty classy.
All right, check us out tomorrow night. Wiggity wiggity whack. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. PSU outs.